Let's do NFC East. This will be entertaining.
NFC
So
East.
quarterbacks, how are you ranking those?
QBs. Oh, Danny Downs #1. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Kidding.
Yeah.
Kidding. Kidding. I'm gonna say from what I've seen, I'm going Dak Prescott #1,
Mhm.
Jalen Hurts #2.
Yeah.
I have an unproven rookie. I gotta have him 4, so I'm taking Danny Dimes at 3. Malik Neighbors giving him a weapon is what I've been saying they need to do for a while. Like, so you got him a weapon. Now, if it doesn't work, that's whatever. Get rid of him. Do what you
Yeah.
want. But yeah, I'm taking Danny Dimes at 3 and Jaden Daniels at 4.
I like that. I think that's kind of the order you got to go with, in my opinion. I mean, Dak Prescott at 1, I feel like he is better than Jalen Hurts, more consistent overall for the most part. Jalen Hurts, towards the back end of the year, just looked atrocious. I know he was dealing with that finger issue heading into the playoffs, which definitely had probably a little bit of issues with him throwing the football. But overall, I would go Prescott 1, Hurts 2, 3. I'm going to go Daniel Jones, and 4, Jaden Daniels. I think unproven rookie definitely has the talent to beat out Daniel Jones for the 3rd spot, but, I mean, he's unproven, so we got to put him at 4, in my opinion.
So we're in agreement on that. All right.
Yeah. Running back room.
I think this
Running
one's
back.
pretty easy as well.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go Saquon Barkley
Yep.
or the Eagles. People,
Yeah.
Eagles 1. Then everybody else is like, basically the same. Like, there's like one clear cut on this. Like, it don't really matter to me. You can put anybody. They lost Tony Pollard. I don't. They're probably they re-signed Zeke, so I don't know if I'm going to put them very high. I'd probably put them almost last.
Whoa.
Zeke's done. Like, let's be real. Like, the last play before this, he was a center for the last play. I'm just not. Zeke's pretty done.
Hey, let's not forget he had 100 yards in the Patriots uniform one game.
He did. He did. But everybody has one game.
Also, I remember the name of the running back from New England from previous video, Ramondre Stevenson, everybody. So if you flame us in the comments, don't, because I got the answer right here. But yeah, who else would you put after that?
I don't even know who the Giants running back is. That like their starter now, I have no idea.
I mean, they'll figure it out in camp. Yeah. Currently, we have no idid. It's way too early.
And the Commanders, who's the running back? Brian Thomas second.
No. Robinson. Brian
right?
Robinson. Yeah.
Right. I'd probably put him too. I think he's good.
He is very good. Yeah.
Then I'm gonna put Cal. I don't even know who the Giants are, so I guess I'll put them last. Zeke, you're getting 3rd. Be lucky. Sorry.
Oh man, I'm actually in agreement with you once again. As much as I hate to say it, no, I'm just kidding. But Saquon for the Eagles. This is the clear-cut choice, everybody. I mean, he's easily the best running back in the division, and he's running behind elite offensive line in Philly, even with Jason Kelce retiring. So, number 2, I've got Robinson for the Commanders. 3, I've got Zeke for Dallas. And 4th, I've got the Giants running back roulette room, whoever it is.
No change on that one. We're all the same on that. Back to back.
Yes, sir. All right, now receiver talk. Receivers, how you ranking those?
That's actually kind of hard. I think 1 and 2 are hard. I think those are the ones I got. Like, am I taking Brandon Cooks and CeeDee Lamb? Which CeeDee Lamb looked impressive last year. But I got to go Eagles #1, though, because I think Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, I just think they're the clear cuts on this. It's Cowboys 2nd. Malik Neighbors, I got to see what he does. I know Jalen Hyatt didn't perform as well as they wanted to, but I think he might get a little better. But I'm right now I'm taking Scary Terry at 3, and I'm taking the Giants at 4.
Well, we're in agreement once again. So I've got the Eagles at 1 with Devonta Smith and A.J. Brown. He became the highest paid wide receiver this offseason, by the way. So there's that. But number 2, I've got Dallas. Like you mentioned, CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks. Very close, I feel like, to number 1 just because of CeeDee Lamb's ability, but I put them at 2. Number 3, I've got Scary Terry in Washington, and 4th, I've got the New York Giants. I think Jalen Hyatt could possibly have a good year paired with Malik Neighbors, but I like Scary Terry better than what they got in New York.
Grants again, 3 straight.
Tight end time right now. How you ranking them?
Darren Waller's not on the Giants anymore, right?
He is still.
Oh, he is okay.
Mm-hmm. Injury prone, like a
yeah. He made a glass. I like Darren Waller, but man, I told you I'm not good with tight ends.
No, you're good. I know who my number 1 is.
Say Eagles 1, Cowboys 2.
Dallas Goedert for the Eagles.
Yeah. Cowboys 2, Eagles 1. Darren Waller 3 when he's healthy.
Yeah.
I'll take
and
Commanders 4.
Commanders 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we agree again. I've got Dallas. Yeah. NFC East. Let's just call it all agree. Mine as well. So I've got Dallas Goddard, excuse me, for the Eagles at 1. Number 2, I've got Jake Ferguson for Dallas, and I think both of those tight ends, young, very talented, exceptional athletes. Number 3, I've got Darren Waller. Like you mentioned, when healthy, he's a solid tight end, but he's never healthy. And number 4, I've got the Washington Commanders tight end room.
Yeah, I think we're just in agreement. Defenses may be different. I don't know. We'll find
Defenses might be different because they have some good defenses in the NFC.
I'm gonna be real. I think 1 and 2 is like the only way we're gonna be different on this one.
Probably.
All right.
What do you have? What do you have?
I got Eagles 1. I think Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean are gonna like really help the DB because that's where they struggled the most. It's not on D line. It's DBs is where they needed the most help. Bradbury was kept getting torched. Mike Evans exposed him so heavy in that game in the playoffs. Yeah, I'm taking Eagles number 1. I felt like they addressed what they needed, and that's so their defense is going to be better. Dallas 2 because Michael Parsons is a stud. And not only that, but like what's his face had like 6 interception returns for touchdowns, 5. Yeah. So let's not forget about that.
Yeah,
it could have been just a one-off season. Don't get me wrong; it totally could have. But as of right now, I got them 2. Then I'm actually going Giants 3, Commanders 4. I think that D line is going to be so nasty for the Giants. Yeah. But I do think they're going to spend a lot of time on the field, so I may actually take Commanders and then Giants.
So what you sticking to? 3 or 4?
Commanders 3, Giants 4. I think the D line's going to be nasty, but I don't think. And they lost some help on the DBs. I think they lost their safety, Xavier something.
Yeah.
So they lost him. I think he went to Green Bay. So yeah, I'm going to take Commanders 3, Giants 4.
I like it. So we have our first difference, everybody. Actually, the NFC East. I've got the Dallas Cowboys having the best defense in that division. Michael Parsons. The loss of Trevon Diggs last year really hurt them. So I think getting him back will be huge. And they still have a solid D-line. And overall, I think they've just got the best defensive unit. Dan Quinn coming back. Or, excuse me, he left. He went to the Commanders, didn't he? For their head coach. So that'll be interesting to see how they can fill his position and what they do this year on the defensive side of the ball for calling plays. But I like the Cowboys defense better. Number 2, I got the Eagles. Like you mentioned, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean. I mean, those 2 boys are going to lock out the outside corner positions and really solidify that defense because that's what was hurting them last year was the secondary. Still a talented group on defense. Number 3, I've got Washington. Man, I love the Commanders' defense. They are so talented. Especially on the interior of the D-line. They got a 3-headed monster. They got Daron Payne, Jonathan Allen, and they drafted Newton from Illinois, the D-tackle. He fell to round 2 early, and they picked him up. So they've got some cats out there in Washington that will, they'll definitely lock some guys up in the secondary, and they'll get after the quarterback as well. And lastly, the Giants. I like that interior D-line, like you mentioned. Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns. It's going to be nasty. But the rest of the defense, I'm a little iffy on, so that's why I've got them at 4.
And what's crazy to think about is don't forget just last year they had Devontae Sweat and Chase Young on that Commanders team.
Exactly. Yeah.
They just got rid of those.
Yeah. That is insane. Washington, they produce good D linemen, or they acquire or get good D linemen. So, yeah. But we'll go ahead and transition to our next division, NFC West. Quarterbacks.
Okay. Super easy. Brock Purdy #1. Then I would do Matt Stafford 2, Kyler Murray 3, and Geno 4.
We have a little bit of a difference.
You can't tell me you got Brock Purdy outside top 2.
No. All right. So number 1, I've got Brock Purdy. Number 2, when healthy, Kyler Murray at 2. I love his upside of his ability on the ground, and I think Stafford's getting older, so I think he may show, a little bit of age this season, even though he's still been productive. But an injury concerns, that really scares me with Stafford. He's had more than his share in his career. 3, I've got Stafford. 4, I've got Geno.
Okay, so we had a difference in Matt Stafford and Kyler, but I was curious. I'm like, is he not taking Purdy #1? I'll be a little shocked because you gotta give Purdy credit. I mean, the dude's been to back-to-back NFC championships. He has a really good shot at going again this year. Could you imagine going to 3 in back-to-back seasons? Like nobody would talk about that. Like nobody talks about it. But
I do think the NFC is going to be a little bit stronger though, with like the young talent kind of coming through and developing though. So we'll see if they can get back. What about for running backs? Who you got?
CMC #1, hands down.
Yeah.
I want to put Williams at 2.
Kyron Williams.
Yeah, I'll probably say him. Even though Seattle's got a good running back as well.
Yeah. Zach Charbonnet.
Yeah, he's 3, and the Cardinals 4. Because I don't even remember. Last time it was
James Conner?
Yeah, I'm not sold. James Conner is not. I'm not sold on James Conner. I've never have been though.
Yeah. Or excuse me, everybody. Zach Charbonnet filled in for Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker is their starter. Zach Charbonnet played a good amount last year because Walker was hurt for several weeks. Man, that's tough. Actually, that's really tough. Running backs, NFC West. I mean, number 1's clear cut, but everybody else. Number 1, I've got CMC. Easy. The best running back in football, everybody. Number 2, man. I like Kyron Williams a lot. I'm going Kyron Williams at 2. 3, I'm going Kenneth Walker. He's a beast. I mean, physical specimen. Reminds me a little bit of Marshawn Lynch running through the tackles. Former Seattle Seahawk himself as well. And 4th, I've got James Conner. No disrespect at all, but it's just there's some good backs in the division, James.
Oh, definitely.
Wide receivers.
Ooh, this one's kind of tough. I'm not gonna lie. When I'm thinking about this, think about wide receiver. You got Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp. You got Deebo Samuels and Brandon Ayuk. You got DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett with JSN.
Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, and I don't know who the other guy is, but Marvin Harrison. I would have to put Cardinals last, even though I'm so high. I'm so high on Marvin Harrison. He's last. I'm gonna say Rams #1. I know this might sound crazy. Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp are in such an insane duo.
Yeah.
And they fixed. I think it's going to help. They fixed a bunch of pieces on defense to get the ball back more. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna say Rams 1. I'm gonna say Niners 2. I'm gonna say Seahawks 3, Cardinals 4. It's real close between Deebo and Ayuk because I think Brandon Ayuk is amazing. Like I love Brandon.
He's a dog.
But I think just like the route running and skill, for Puka Nakua and Cooper Cup is just better. Even though Debo, you can use Debo as like a running back with jet sweeps and stuff. So I think, yeah, I'm gonna go with Rams. Even though I like Brandon Ayuk more than any other wide receiver in that division.
Yeah, I respect that list. I really do. But we have a little difference. Number one, I've got the Niners for receiving. I've got Ayuk and Debo. I mean, so versatile. They can take you deep down the field, little screen route, end around. Very fast guys. I like their um, just ability a little bit more than Cup and Puka Nakua. So number two, I've got the Rams. I like your boy Puka a lot and Cooper Cup. Although I did mention in our not sleeper, excuse me, sophomore slump video, I think Puka Nakua is going to have a sophomore slump. So putting the Rams at two. Number three, I've got Lockett and DK for Seattle. And lastly, I've got the Cardinals with Marvin Harrison Jr.
Okay. So 1 and 2 is a little different, but I love DK too, though. There's a lot of wide
Oh
receivers I
yeah.
like.
Oh yeah. And don't forget about JSN for Seattle as well.
I thought he was going to play a bigger role last year, like than what he did. I predicted him to play a lot more. I expected him to be more of like taking Tyler Lockett's spot, but we have to wait another season on that before that happens.
Yeah, exactly. What about tight ends now, everybody? Tight end time.
George Kittle, number one.
Oh, for sure.
Than everybody else.
Trey McBride for the Cardinals. He's a dog.
We'll take him too then. I'm going to say Rams Seahawks.
Rams Seahawks. I would agree with that list. Yeah, I don't see any problem with that at all. Of course, George Kittle, the best blocking tight end in football. And I would put him at 1. 2, I'd go with Trey for the Cardinals. And then 3 and 4, like you mentioned. I see no wrong with that list at all. So I'm in agreement. Let's go to defenses, though. Let's switch the flip. Switch it.
Niners.
Yep.
Niners 1. Rams 2. Seahawks 3. Cardinals 4.
Okay. Yeah, I've got Niners 1.
I know Rams and Seahawks is kind of a toss-up.
That's close, yeah. I think the Rams will struggle a little bit on defense because they're so young, and the loss of Aaron Donald, I believe, will hurt them. So I've got Seattle at 2, Rams 3, Cardinals 4.
We're in agreement on that. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Next division.
Sir. Next division. You gonna do South or North?
We usually save North for last, so let's do North.
All right. NFC North time, everybody. Quarterbacks. Rank them.
Jordan Love, number 1. Jared Goff, number 2. And then, like, I just have to kind of go off hype right now for the other 2 because they're both rookies. So I'm taking Caleb, JJ.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of hype. I can't really. I mean, he was drafted number 1 for a reason, I guess. So we'll see. Also, he has a fantastic. He's coming into such a great offense.
Exactly. So I think the number 1 quarterback in the division is not Jordan Love. It is JJ. I'm playing. I'm just fine. It is Jared Goff, in my opinion, for the Detroit Lions. He had a really good year last year, and I think he's been more consistent over the last few years. Of course, Jordan Love's first year as a starter, getting acclimated to the Green Bay offense. I think he could probably surpass Goff this year. Just depends. We'll have to wait and see. But currently, I've got Goff above him. Jordan Love at 2, Caleb Williams at 3 because of the hype, and everyone's just, the expectations are high for Chicago in that offense. I've got him at 3 and JJ McCarthy at 4 because we don't even know if he's going to start week 1, everybody. He might sit a couple of weeks.
All right, so we kept it 1 and 2 is different, but everything else is the same.
Yeah.
Running backs?
Running backs.
Lions got the best running back duo in football. So Jamar Gibbs and Devin Montgomery are crazy good and such versatile, both of them. Like, they're just so different, but they work so well together. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna have them at number one. I think that Josh Jacobs and the Packers for me is my second one. I think that's gonna
Mm.
be really good. And then, ooh, actually no, I got a Packers lower. Um, I said he's gonna have a breakout year this year. He's gonna have a good year. Uh, he's one of my players to watch out for. I'm actually gonna go Sweat.
Swift.
Yeah, Swift. I think Swift breaks out, has a great year. So I still gotta stick true to that. So I have him at two.
Mm.
But then it gets real hard because I think the division's gonna be tough. All the running backs are good.
Yeah.
I think that JJ and Addison and Hawkinson are gonna be getting the ball more than Jones. So I would say, and I think they have a better wide receiver class. So I would say Packers have to run the ball a little bit more. So I
Mm.
would probably say Packers 3, Vikings 4.
Mm. Okay. And Marshawn Lloyd, they drafted from USC, the Packers, who's a pretty good running back as well. He'll probably be utilized as a AJ Dillon type role.
I love AJ
Um,
Dillon.
yeah.
He plays pharmacy.
Um, and then the Bears with Swift, I like that pick. I'm going with the Detroit Lions at one, like you mentioned. I mean, those two guys, Montgomery and Gibbs. I mean, those two guys are crazy. Great duo. Number two, I've got the Green Bay Packers. I think Josh Jacobs will flourish in that system, and Marshawn Lloyd will be an underrated player year one and probably be very productive at that. Number three, I've got. Oh, it's tough, man. Bears or Vikings?
I think running backs is actually really kind of tough.
I
Like
think it is really. If it comes down to who I think is a better running back, DeAndre Swift or Aaron Jones, and I think when healthy, I truly believe Aaron Jones is better. Um, so I'm gonna give the edge to the Vikings in this one. I put them at 3 and 4. I'll give it to DeAndre Swift. Although I think Swift will have a really good year. I think that backfield in Minnesota with Ty Chandler as well is a little bit better than Chicago's.
all right, running backs are complete.
Yeah,
Wide
wide
receiver.
wide receiver time,
Y'all have the best wide receiver duo in that division. So Vikings number
no
one.
doubt.
I don't think that
Yeah.
one's that hard. I'm taking as a whole. I'm gotta go Chicago 2, Detroit 3, and then Green Bay 4.
Hmm.
Because I think y'all have the best,
Yeah.
and then the Bears added. I have so many weapons,
Yeah.
so I gotta take them at 2. Like but both of y'all wide receivers have been there for a minute now. Addison finished his rookie year. He understands like how they work as a unit. Jetta's
Mhm.
back, so I think they're going to work very well together. But you got Keenan Allen's got to learn this system. You got DJ Moore, who's been there for one season. So yeah, I'm going to take y'all. Then I'm taking the Bears, the Lions, Packers.
Mm. I respect that list. You make a good point. So number one, I've got the Minnesota Vikings. I mean, Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson, the best wide receiver in football. I think they are deserving of the number one spot easily. Number two, I have got the Chicago Bears. I'm in agreement with you. I mean, they've got Moore, they've got Keenan Allen, they drafted Roma Dunze. So those guys are going to be some studs to throw to, man. For a rookie quarterback, you cannot ask anything better for the situation going into. Three, I've got. Hmm. I mean, the Green Bay Packers are deep. They have some receivers that are young that are good. But I think I like Detroit's wide receivers a little bit better. Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's a dog. Jameson Williams, speedster, very good wide receiver. So I like their wide receiver room a little bit better than Green Bay's. Although Green Bay's, I might add, Reed, they got Wicks, they have Christian Watson. They've got other dogs that are really underrated and very good. I feel like I'm missing one. I feel like I'll have to go back after this video. Romeo Dobbs, probably one of my favorite receivers in the league, I might add. As a division rival, I hate to say that, but Dobbs, he's so good, man. Great route runner. I'll put them at fourth. I mean, that just speaks to the volume of how many good receivers are in this division.
No, seriously. But like we had the same, so we got the same list here.
Hmm.
So that's our
Yeah.
first agreement in the North.
Yeah. Tight end time, though. I think we might be a little different, possibly.
So I've got the Lions at 1 because Hawk's
Mm-hmm.
coming off of injury. So
Mm-hmm.
I've got Vikings 2. You got the other two.
Cole Kmet for the Bears.
Yeah, I'll probably have him 3.
And then Luke Musgrave and Tyler Kraft for the Packers.
Yeah, I'll keep. Yeah, it'll go Lions, Vikings, Bears, Packers.
Okay, we have completely different lists.
I figured you got Hawk 1.
For the tight end. So if Hawkinson plays like no later than week 3 or week 4, I'd say week 3. I've got Hawkinson at 1. He's been having a quick rehab process, so there's still hope he can play week 1, but I doubt it. I still think Hawkinson is better than Laporta currently. So I've got him at 1, Laporta at 2, the best young tight end in all of football. Very exciting to watch.
He's top 5
So I've got him at
right now.
2. Oh, for sure. Yeah, I put him at 5.
5.
Yeah. Let's see. Kelsey Kittle, Andrews, Hawk, and then Laporta.
Okay, you got him over Andrew. You got Andrews over him.
Hmm?
You got Andrews over Laporta.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm
Yeah.
making sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's got to have more of a sustained career for me to really put him above him. But, anyways, going back, number 3 for tight ends in the NFC North, I have the Packers with Tyler Kraft and Luke Musgrave. I think 2 of the most underrated young tight ends in all of football, very dependable players for Jordan Love to throw to. And number 4, I've got Cole Kmet for the Bears.
All right. Now it's defense time.
Yes, sir. Defensive time, NFC North. Who you got?
I'll be real. No defenses in the NFC North scare me. I'll be real.
No, not at all.
I I kind of want to say Bears number 1. I think they got like the best defense in the division. Yeah, kind of. I mean, y'all got Daniel Hunter, but you lost Daniel Hunter, but
Yeah,
you got Dallas Turner.
true.
Harrison's getting older. Packers aren't. I think the Packers actually might be the number 1. I think
They've got a good defense.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Packers 1. The Lions have a good D line, but their secondary is not great, and they lost some more pieces too. They lost Cam Sutton. They lost Gardner Johnson. They did get.
I like their defense though.
You do? Their DBs
Yeah.
are not solid, but like I give a lot. Like they do got Brian Branch.
Yeah.
Their DBs
Jack
are
Campbell.
just so like that's what worries me about their defense. It's not their D line. It's just their DBs are so bad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say Packers 1, Lions 2, Vikings 3, Bears 4.
Okay.
I think Chicago's defense is getting better though.
Yeah. I agree. So you said Packers, Vikings, Bears, Packers,
Lions.
Vikings, Lions, Bears.
Packers, Lions, Vikings, Bears.
Oh, okay. All right, we're in a little bit of disagreement. So I've got the Lions at 1. I think their secondary is going to definitely improve from last year. And the biggest thing that really stood out to me though wasn't necessarily the secondary's weaknesses. It was the defensive line's inability to stop the run, and I think they really plugged that up this offseason. So I think their defense is probably the best currently in the NFC North. Number 2, I've got the Green Bay Packers. Jair Alexander and company, they've got a really good solid unit over there. 3, I got the Vikings. They've got some old vets on that team still. Harrison Smith. They let go of Daniel Hunter, but they got some young guns in there that are definitely going to step up this year that everyone's going to start to pay attention to a little bit more and make their name known across the league, hopefully. But in last place, I got the Bears.
I think the Bears defense is getting better though.
Yeah, no, I'm not dissing the Bears at all, but I think those three defenses that I named are better.
But I don't think any of those defenses are like scary defenses though.
No, not really. I mean, the Lions defense has the capability to be pretty scary if they get some corner help, but I think overall they have a decent defense, pretty good.
I mean, they did trade up to get the best corner in the draft, Terry Arnold.
Yeah, yeah, that is very true. They addressed the corner position in the draft, so they definitely looking better on that side of the ball, hopefully, for Lions fans. But moving on to the NFC South, last division, everybody for positional grades
All
and
right,
rankings. Quarterbacks, what you got?
quarterbacks: Baker Mayfield, number one. Kirk Cousins, number two.
Yeah.
Uh, Bryce Young, three. Derek Carr, four.
Ooh. Oh man.
Derek Carr's not gonna get you anywhere. I'm sorry, he's not. He's just not. I think
Yeesh.
you have a better shot. No, I like some of the pickups that Carolina made in the draft to help Bryce
Mhm.
Young. I think Bryce Young is not a bad QB. I just think he's in a bad position.
Yeah.
Derek Carr's been there for a couple years now, and he still isn't getting anything rolling. So I'm just not.
I mean, I don't disagree at all. I kind of like that. The more I think about it, like you mentioned, you get Deontay Johnson, you draft Xavier Leggett, so you're getting some guys around him to really perform.
Yeah.
Um,
So like for me, I like it better than the Saints. So I would probably I'd say Baker because this is Baker's second year. This is Kurt's
mhm,
first. Don't get me wrong,
yeah.
Atlanta's got weapons. Not denying that, and they got
Mhm,
a sneaky good defense.
yeah. For me, I think two things I'm considering. Kirk surrounded with offensive talent and weapons in Atlanta, and number two, the injury and the age concerns. So, 35 coming off an Achilles tear scares me. It really does. But with all that offensive talent surrounded with Kirk and seeing what he did in Minnesota, I'm putting him at one. I think he'll be the best quarterback in that division, followed by Baker at two. I think Baker has a really solid season in year two in Tampa. Three, I like the Bryce Young pick. I'm a piggy bank off of that. I like the talent they surrounded him with. And honestly, if they make Bryce feel more comfortable in that offense, I think we could see a pretty good campaign this upcoming year for the Panthers. It won't be anything astonishing, probably, but you'll definitely see some improvements.
I got to win like 5 or 6 games. I think something like
Yeah.
that.
And honestly, just checking the box with Bryce. Like, you got to see some improvements from him this year and seeing what he can do, understanding the offense's just playbook and seeing how well he can develop in Carolina in year two with the offensive guys they got. I mean, the playmakers. Adam Thielen's going to be the wide receiver three now, so
They got the QB guru as their head coach now, Dave Canales.
yeah, exactly. So he should be able to work some magic down there in Carolina. And fourth, I've got Derek Carr because, like you mentioned, he has yet to do anything really impressing down there in New Orleans. Moving on to the running backs, though. Running back talk. Let's get it
This
started with
this one's weird.
yeah,
So I'm gonna go ahead and put Panthers at four. I'm gonna go ahead and start that off because they have a rookie.
John
Uh,
Brooks,
yeah,
Miles Sanders.
Miles Sanders did nothing last year. Like what do you do is Miles Sanders? This isn't
Hey,
Philly. This isn't Philly Miles Sanders anymore.
Vita ain't gonna like that response.
So yeah, I'm gonna put Panthers at four.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say in all reality when they play, I'm gonna say White at three, Rashad White at three.
John White.
Um, then I would say
Bijan.
yeah, Bijan at
That
two,
too.
and then Alvin Kamara at one. Because Alvin Kamara is an amazing running back. I
Yeah.
cannot stand the guy. Like if you're seeing this, I do not like you.
Yeah.
Besides the point. That's because you play against Tampa. None of these other running backs have had 6 touchdowns in a single game. Um,
Yeah.
Alvin Kamara is one of the best receiving backs like to ever do it. He's fantastic at it. He's got great hands, but he's also aging too. So
Yeah.
no, I gotta change it. I'm gonna say Alvin Kamara 3, White 2, Bijan. No,
Whoa.
I can't. No, this is hard. I'm trying to get this through.
That's a big jump from 1 to 3.
No, he's aging too, but
He is.
I'm gonna say
Yeah.
Bijan because he doesn't get utilized at 3, White 2, Alvin Kamara 1. There we go.
Okay. I respect it. I kind of like it. Like you mentioned, Alvin Kamara. I mean, he one of the best receiving backs of all time. He gave me some PTSD though, man. He wore on Christmas Day the red and green cleats and torched our defense for 6 touchdowns.
I did not even remember that was you guys. I just remember him doing that.
Yeah, that was us, unfortunately. But yeah, he is crazy, man. Freak athlete. I like him at 1 still. Even though he's aging, if he gets utilized correctly in that offense in New Orleans, he's still one of the best backs in the league, in my opinion. Um, Number 2, I've got Bijan Robinson. I like his upside. He's still young, and we'll see if he's utilized more in year 2. But Arthur Smith likes to run the ball a lot, so we'll have to wait and see with that. Um, Number 3, I've got Rashad White. I think that's a good pick for him at 3 selection. Very solid year last year, and I think he'll build off of last season's success and put up pretty solid numbers. And fourthly, I've got Jonathan Brooks and Miles Sanders. I think Brooks will probably be RB1.
Yeah, I think Bijan's gonna have a down year because of Kirk being there and them utilizing more of the passing game than because like Kirk isn't like your screen QB. He's not the one that throws like the screens constantly. I think he's more of like your mid range to deep threat ball because he can bomb it. He can.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's true. Wide receivers now.
I got Tampa at 1. Like, I think we got the best receivers. I think we got the best receivers. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Trey Palmer. We picked up a rookie. I think we just
Yeah.
have the best wide receiver room in the division.
hmm
Um, then I would say Falcons.
Yeah.
Drake London. Drake London's a good wide receiver. I can't stand the guy, but he's a good wide
He's
receiver.
good.
And if you
Yeah.
got a QB who can get in the ball, I think he can make be a threat. So I'll take them at 2. Saints 3. Um, Olave is not what I thought he was going to be. Personally, I thought he was going to be better, but it may also be Derek Carr's fault. So
Yeah. I was
I'm
about to say, I think that's a little bit on Carr's
I'm gonna
fault.
blame Carr more. So I'll have him. The Saints at 3, Panthers 4. They got a rookie,
Yeah.
Adam Thielen, who's like 33 years old, is your number 1 wide receiver. There's something up. No offense to him, but he's 33-year-old white wide receiver. As your number 1.
Well, he was last year, but he won't be their number 1 this year.
I know, but I was just saying last year. I'm like,
Oh yeah,
you got a
yeah,
rookie this year. After
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
so I think it's gonna. I'm not high on the Panthers wide receivers.
I feel you. We got a little bit of a difference, not much though. Number 1, I agree with you. I think it's Tampa Bay, your Bucks. Chris Godwin, Mike Evans. They've established themselves as 2 of the most consistent wide receivers in the league, and ultimately, I think they're the best duo in the entire division. Um, and like you said, you have Trey Palmer on top of a rookie you drafted. So I think you guys have the best wide receiver group in your division. Number 2, I've got the Falcons with Drake London. I think he could easily be a top 15 receiver this year if Kirk gives him the ball enough, because he's an athletic freak, and we'll see what he can do. Number 3, I've got the Carolina Panthers, man. I got the Panthers at 3. I like Deontay Johnson a lot, and I think he's going to be Bryce Young's best friend. I think the connection with him is going to be legit, and Xavier Legette, he's going to be utilized kind of like Debo Samuel in San Francisco, I feel like. A lot of jet sweeps, down the field motion, stuff like that. Very versatile player, and I think he could be a key factor for them winning games. And Adam Thielen, he's still got some juice left. Let's not discredit the man. He's still pretty solid. But yeah, I put them at 3 and 4. I got the New Orleans Saints. I love Chris Olave. I love Olave, but after him, they don't have anybody in that room that really stands out to me.
Oh, man. Derek Carr. It's kind of Derek Carr's fault.
Derek Carr. Oh, let's go to tight ends now.
Tight ends. Falcons won. Kyle Pitts. I think he'll finally be utilized, and we can see what Kyle Pitts is supposed to
Yeah.
have been for like the last 4 years. So unfortunately, I got him number one. Because like last year, like when I said, oh, I don't think Kyle Pitts is a top 5 tight end, and people were like, what? I'm like, yeah. Like, what stats am I supposed to look at it for this guy? The fact that he's always open and never gets the ball, sure. He's great at breaking away when the ball's not going towards him. But
hopefully Kirk will give him the ball.
hopefully not. But I got the Falcons 1. 2. I don't know. Is Jimmy Graham still the tight end for the Saints? I don't even know who it is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say.
Oh, it's well, technically you could say Taysom Hill.
Okay, I'm gonna take K. Dotton at 2. I'm gonna take the Panthers at 3, and then the Saints 4.
Tommy Tremble.
Yeah, and then Saints 4.
Okay. All right, we have a little bit of a difference again. Nothing major though. So number 1, I've got Kyle Pitts as well. I think he's going to be utilized. Hopefully, not on your end. You hope not, but a little bit more this year than last season. Freak athlete, great hands down the field, dependable target. I think for Kirk, he'll probably hook up with him quite a bit. Number 2, if I had to think about it, number 2 tied in. I think it's K. Dotton. Who's your other tight end?
We just got that new guy from Washington, the fastest tight end in the draft.
Oh, okay. I like Cade pretty good. I think he's a dependable tight end. He kind of reminds me of Dalton Schultz a little bit. But I put Cade at 2. Number 3, I'll put Taysom Hill at 3, even though he's like not a prototypical tight end. He's very versatile and he's a playmaker. And 4, I would put Tommy Tremble for the Carolina Panthers. He's a good possession receiver or tight end for them out of Notre Dame. Pretty young player still, but I would like those other guys in front of him. All right, defensive time.
I think personally the defense is there's 2 that are the top, and then you have 3 and 4. So I think Tampa and the Falcons are 1 and 2. I think they have the best defenses in the division. And then where it's tough because like I want to say Tampa on this because Tampa and Atlanta both have like the top 2 safeties in the league. So I'm thinking about that. I think our DBs were like really rough last season. I think they got better DBs than we do. I'm glad they didn't get Dallas Turner though. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm gonna say Atlanta 1, Tampa 2, Orlando or New Orleans 3, Carolina 4. I think that the defense for the New Orleans is still really good, but I think they're gonna get exhausted from being on the field a lot. So I'm going to take them at 3. We lost Shaquille Barrett and we lost Devin White. So like I think our linebacker help's going to be like we got good prospects, but I think that's going to be something we're going to look at too, along with the DBs. I know we got Tyreek Smith out of Georgia, and I know they're going to be running a lot of triple safeties. I think so. I'm kind of curious on how that works, but. That's my thoughts on the defense. It's but Atlanta, I think they're overall. Think they got a better defense, so I'll take them first.
So this is really close for me, honestly. Between the top 3, 4 is Carolina. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. 1 through 3, though, it's pretty. You can go either way with this, but number 1, I've got the Tampa Bay Bucks. Your Bucks. I've got Antoine Winfield Jr., one of the best safeties in the league, and honestly, one of my favorite players on y'all's defense is Vita Vea, the run stopping machine. very productive player. So I think y'all's defense will probably be the best in the division still currently, even after a couple of losses in the linebacker core. Number 2, I've got the New Orleans Saints. Their defense last year was stifling, and I watched a lot of games that were on TV where they were showing the Saints, and I was like, their defense is deceptively good, and they still have a good amount of vets on that roster, but they produce at a high level. So Demario Davis is honestly still a great linebacker for them, and he produces at a high clip every year. So I like the New Orleans Saints at 2. And number 3, I got the Falcons. I love the Jesse Bates addition to that defense. AJ Terrell and then boys in the secondary can still lock it up. But I like the New Orleans defense a little bit better, so that's why I got the Falcons at 3. And number 4, the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, we expect the Carolina.
Yeah.
That's it.
That is it, everybody. Thank you for tuning in